So I don't know, like some of you have some exposure to meditation, some of you don't, but like that's a huge part of my yoga practice. And um, I've had the luxury of time, as many of us have had in different ways, to kind of dive a little deeper into that, uh, which is nice, but also like really uncomfortable because, uh, you know, you're kind of like with yourself and your stuff. And I've noticed that sometimes there's this myth around like mindfulness and meditation and yoga that like the more we get into it, the deeper our practices are. It's like our feelings go away, our thoughts go away, and that is a myth. It's actually more so that we start to have this spaciousness to be with our feelings without having to react to them. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it as like the deeper we get into whatever our practices are, we get more skilled at regulating our nervous system so that when emotions come up or thoughts come up, it's like all of a sudden you have this space to witness that happening and then make a choice on how you want to behave around that, or if you do. Sometimes we just want to let that stuff go. And I talked about this last week. This has been coming up a lot for me lately of how do I want to relate to this right now? Like, how do I want to relate to this thought that's coming up or this feeling that's coming up or the experience presenting itself to me right now? And I know for a lot of people, we're being encountered by the answer no to a lot of things like, oh, I'm going to go camping. No, you're not. Well, I'm going to go see my friends. No, I'm not. I want to give this person a hug. No, you cannot do that. Right. So this is coming up a lot right now with COVID. And we have this opportunity to really think about how we want to relate to that, right? Because for a lot of us, those are uncomfortable feelings. So that's just kind of my offering to you as we move through the practice. Anatomically, I'm really into the scapulas lately, the shoulder blades. So we're doing a lot with stabilizing the core and moving from our shoulder blades because, I don't know, if you're an anatomy nerd, it's just a fascinating skeletal structure and joint mobility in there. So, and as always, we'll do some low back stuff too, okay? Sound good, everybody? Yeah. And the cool thing about, like, some of you know me, some of you don't know me very well. Like, the cool thing about the Zoom classes is you can just like leave. It's okay. Or if there are things that don't work for your body, you can just skip that part, right? The downside is I can't really interact with you physically to like answer questions as much, but I'll try my best, okay? So we'll start with a centering practice. You all look like you're seated, so hopefully you're comfortable, okay? If being reclined is something that's calling to your body more this morning, go for it. Really, the shape is to support you pulling your attention inward. So if it's comfortable for you, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And I'm going to encourage you to take an extra mental step to let yourself drop into this experience. So a lot of times we go into a studio that is created and curated to support practicing this sort of thing. And right now, a lot of us are in our homes. So this is a different shift. So whatever that is for you, some people like to, I don't know, close an imaginary door. Maybe you take an extra clearing breath. Or maybe you just literally say to yourself, I'm practicing yoga now. Like whatever that is for you, just to let yourself have this time. And then we'll breathe together. So take a deep breath in through the nose, please. And exhale out the mouth. And then I'm going to ask you to just watch your breath. So just notice your inhale and your exhale. Notice where it's landing in the body. Noticing any characteristics to it, maybe the depth or pace. And noticing if you notice it shift as you continue to pay attention to your breath. And then with your mind's eye, take a quick scan of the body, please. So just from the crown of the head, just slowly moving through the body, noticing if there's any sensation, right? Maybe tension or, I don't know, dullness. Sometimes we don't really have labels for the sensations we're feeling, and that's okay. I just want you to be curious. And just pose this question to yourself. Is there anywhere you can soften? Maybe it's the space between the eyebrows or the jaw. And then if it's comfortable for you, you'll take the palms of the hands together and rub them. And maybe while you're doing this, take a few more clearing breaths. Okay. And then if you'd like to, you can bring your hands to heart center, right? So Anjali Mudra, so palms are touching. Thumbs come into the chest, and the chest rises up to meet the thumbs. So we're opening up the heart space here. The neck is long, the jaw is relaxed. And then if you'd like to, you can join in chanting Om one time. Okay, so take a deep breath in to chant. Om. On your next exhale, open your eyes if they're closed, please. And we'll just dive right in. So we'll have you come onto your backs, please. Nice. And so your knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Let the head be heavy. And maybe kind of shimmy the shoulder blades underneath your back a little bit to open up the chest. Right? There's not a lot of over efforting in that gesture, but it's really just to encourage the heads of the arm bones to slide down towards the floor a little more. And then windshield wiper the knees from side to side a few times, doing this for two reasons. One is just to get some opening in the hips, but also to just see what they're up to. How are they feeling? Okay. Okay. And then we're going to do our best to kind of wake up the core to stabilize our bodies as we move more. So take your hands and interlace them behind your head and point your elbows up and back a bit. So they're kind of going towards the crown of the head. You're doing this gesture to, again, slide the shoulder blades down the back body, okay? And then as you exhale, just pull the belly button up towards the backbone until you feel your pelvis start to tilt, and keep the bum relaxed. This is all like the low belly doing this work, okay? And then just inhale, let the pelvis tilt back. So it's a little gesture here. Just do that a couple of times. So exhale, pull the belly button up and back. And inhale, release. Okay, one more like that, lifting the pelvic floor to feel the pelvis tilt. And then inhale, release. Okay. So I'm just going to keep layering onto this stuff, and you decide how deep you want to go. Okay, so exhale, curl the tailbone, so it's pointing towards the heels, and now lift the head till the shoulder blades are off the back, off the floor, but the neck is relaxed. And then inhale, slowly lower the head back down. Let the pelvis come back to neutral. And then again, exhale, cinch up through the front body, but press the belly button down towards the backbone. Good, and then inhale, release. One more like that, exhale, lift, tilt. Inhale, release. Okay, and then I'm gonna add on to that, so exhale, lift. Keep the exhale and twist just a little bit to the left, so that right scapula is lifting off of the floor, okay? And then inhale, come back down. Then exhale, lift and curl, and this time twist towards the right so that left scapula is lifting up off the floor a little more, and then inhale back down. We'll do that each side once more time, okay? Exhale, lift, twist to the left. Broad low back, good, inhale back. Exhale, lift, twist. Inhale back. Good. Okay. If you want more, take your feet off the floor, please. Okay, don't push it if you've got low back stuff going on though. So the knees are above the hips, and as you do this, notice that the low back has to kind of press down into the floor here. Okay, now exhale, lift the head, twist to the left. Now extend your right arm out into a fist and punch a little bit more towards the left. Hello, okay, good, then come back. Another side, exhale, lift, twist to the right, extend the left arm, punch a little bit more. Good, we're getting the obliques here, right? And then inhale back up. One more time each side, exhale, lift. Punch the right, punch a little bit more to the left. Good, come back. And again, exhale, lift. Twist to the right, left arm reaches out, and then punch. Good, inhale back through center. Okay, and then bring the feet down to the floor. Relax the arms, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. I feel like you guys are all really strong, and I want to add on to that, okay? Okay, so reminder that you can pick any layer of this seat to go with. But let's go one step deeper, okay? So come back to center. Before we get going, though, just bring your hands onto your belly. Take a deep breath in and press your belly into your hands. You're expanding. Exhale, relax the midsection. And then interlace the fingers behind the head again, please. Reminder that the elbows are going up and back, so the upper back is nice and broad here. And then maybe you keep the feet down, or maybe you take them up off the floor, okay? You can do this next part either way. So take an inhale here, please. Exhale, lift. Okay, twist to the left, punch the right arm out, and now straighten the left leg. Now reach a little bit more. Good. Then inhale, come back through center, bend both knees, head comes down. Keep the low back pressing into the floor. Exhale, lift the head, twist to the right. Straighten the right leg and then punch with the left arm. Then inhale, come back through center. We'll do it again on the other side. So exhale, lift up, punch to the left, straighten the left leg. Good, inhale through center, back down. And then exhale, lift, twist to the right. Straighten the right arm, but punch with the left. Good, inhale through center, exhale down. Okay, that's enough. That was a lot of left and right. Okay, and then windshield wiper the knees. Okay, and then hug the knees into the body, please. And then we're going to transition into tabletop position. So if you want to, you can roll forward and back on the spine, if that's your thing. If it's not, you can roll to one side and then kind of make your way. Whatever works for you. Okay. And let's take a quick child's pose here, but if it works for you, I want you to curl your toes under so you're stretching through the bottoms of the feet, getting some openness in the plantar fascia, okay? So the hips come over the heels. And then walk the arms forward over your head. The forehead comes to the ground if this feels safe in your body, right? So if this is too much of an extension in the back, you might bend the elbows a little bit. If this works for you, I want you to find some traction here. So you're pressing the hands down and sinking the hips back. Take a deep breath into your low back, please. Okay. Now come up to tabletop position, please. Good. Okay. So knees are below hips, hands are below shoulders. Okay, and there's this opening happening. So the triceps, the backs of the upper arms are twisting back. Now the purpose of this cue is to get the shoulder blades in line here, right? So you're gluing the inferior angles of the scapulas to the backs of the ribs. That doesn't mean anything to you. Just think of the bottom corner of your shoulder blades gluing down, okay? And then start to let your chest sink down towards the floor as you feel your shoulder blades grow a little bit closer to each other. So it's a very subtle movement. The arms stay straight-ish, okay? And then start to round the upper back till you feel the shoulder blades separate a bit. So just do this a few times. So we're kind of like scrubbing in between the shoulder blades and the rib cage. But continue to rotate the arms out in opposite directions. So it's like your hands are on two jar lids and you're twisting them open. So the right hand's twisting to the right and the left hand's twisting to the left. Good. Keep the throat soft, please. Okay, come to center. Find that lift in the low belly and hook your toes again. So we're encouraging that opening in the bottoms of the feet, okay? Keep the hips as stationary as you can and bring the left fingertips behind the head. So the elbow is kind of chicken winged out to the side here. Press down into the right hand and start to reach the left elbow up towards the ceiling. So you'll feel the right shoulder blade kind of glue to the back ribs here, good. And then exhale, bring it back down. Let's do that a few times. So then slowly bring the elbow up and then down. So it looks externally like the movement is coming from the left side of the body, but I want you to be thinking about what's going on the right side. So feel the right shoulder blade moving into the backs of the ribs and that right hand pressing down into the floor to create this movement. A couple more times. Okay, come back to center. Okay, take a cat-cow, please. So exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly button. Find that extension, open up the throat, look up if that feels safe for you. And then exhale, come back to center. And then we'll do the other side and we'll kind of go in this shape, see if this helps. Okay, so the right fingertips come to the back of the head. The hip points stay pretty level here, and you just lift the right elbow up towards the ceiling as you press down with the left hand. And then exhale, lower down. So it's almost like that left shoulder blade is scrubbing the backs of your ribs. Good, you guys, nice. It's like a slow, controlled movement. Make sure you're breathing, please. Okay, one more. I love this one if you're like in front of a computer a lot. It just kind of reminds these muscles to help keep your chest open. Okay, come back to center. One more time, cat-cow. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, find extension. Okay, and then shift back to child's pose once again, please. So this time, let the tops of the feet soften on the floor. Bring the palms of your hands together, and then bend your elbows till your thumbs come to the back of your head or your neck. And maybe walk the elbows forward a little more if that feels safe in your body. As you continue to sink the hips back. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, go ahead and release the bend of the elbows. Come back to tabletop position, please. Nice. Okay. And then from here, hook the toes. Okay. So find that scoop of the low belly. So it's like the pubic bone is coming up towards your low ribs, and your low ribs are kind of cinched together here. The muscles around and underneath the scapula, the shoulder blades are nice and awake here. Now keep this shape of the tabletop as you hover the knees off of the floor, just like an inch or two, maybe, okay? Keep wrapping the triceps back, keep the back of the neck long. So pull the chin up a little bit here. Keep the side body long, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog, please. Good, okay. Prioritize the lengthening of the spine over the straightening of your legs, please. So you might bend your knees a bit here. And continue to wrap the arm muscles back, right? So that you're opening up through the collarbones. And now pedal your feet. So I want you to really think about opening up through the toe bones and the heels and the ankles. All the while, those shoulder blades are glued to the back ribs, keeping you nice and supported. Find a steady breath. And maybe check in, how am I relating to this? Like, is there like a lot of narrative going on? Am I checked out? Like, where are you? And there's no judgment, you're just kind of noticing where the brain is going. Okay, come to center. So you're lifting up through the sits bones, right? So those bony muscles on your bum. As you root down through the heels, the knees can stay bent, but you're still feeling that lengthening happening in the backs of the legs. Take an exhale, please. As you inhale, come up to the balls of your feet. So your heels lift up, roll the heels to the left, press them down a little bit into the floor as you bend your knees so they track over the centers of your feet. So this should hopefully give you a nice stretch to the side body. Keep the weight equal in your hands. Inhale, come up through center. Roll the heels to the right. Bend the knees, tracking over the center of the feet. Find a little side stretch. Okay. Come up through center again, please. Root the heels down, downward facing dog. Okay. Keep that scoop in the low belly as you walk your hands back to your feet. And as you do this, let your belly rest on your thighs. Keep the knees pretty bent here and send the weight back. So you're deeply flexing into the hips. You might have your fingertips tented here. And then if it works for you, let the head hang. So for a lot of us, this feels really good on the low back. Okay, take a deep breath in, please. And out. And then just walk your hands up your legs. Come up to standing. Two, okay. And then just take a nice stroll to the front of your mat. And then kind of shake it out a little bit. That was very technical, right? So just kind of shake it out a little bit. Get in your body. And just let yourself stand here, right? Tadasana. I like to encourage the palms of the hands rotating forward to keep the chest open. But I want you to do whatever feels natural for you. And take a moment to bring your awareness inward. So just like we did at the beginning of the class, take a little body scan. Notice what sensations are coming up for you. Okay. Take a deep breath in and a clearing breath out through the mouth. Okay. Inhale, swoop your arms out and up overhead. And exhale, hinge at your hips as you begin to fold forward. Okay. Inhale to a halfway lift. So we'll do a few sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. Okay. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank position, please. So plank is different for everybody, right? So you might bring the knees down immediately here. I'm more interested, what are your shoulder blades up to? Can you glue them to the back body until you feel your chest broaden? Okay, exhale, lower the knees. Keep hugging the elbows in towards your center line, lower your chest and your chin. So you're scooping your low belly so your hips are lifted here. And then inhale, slide your chest forward and up. Pull the hands back into a cobra. Nice, guys. And then exhale, release the back bend. Hook your toes. Press yourself up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. End of your exhale, bring your feet to your hands, folding at the front of your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. So the fingertips might slide up at the shins. They might be on the ground. Okay, exhale, fold. Roll the weight back into the heels till you feel your butt muscles wake up. And then inhale, rise yourself up to standing. So you're rooting down through the heels. And then exhale, palms touch, hands come down your center line. And then the side of the body. So this is called Surya Namaskar A. It's a sun salutation. Okay, so inhale, arms out and up. Long spine, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank position again, please. Nice. Don't get lazy with the arms. Okay, so wrap the triceps back. And then exhale, lower your knees. Keep the side body long as you lower your chest and your chin. Scoop your low belly. Inhale, slide forward up to your back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. End of exhale, feet come to hands, fold at the front of your mat, however you want to get there. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Find the weight more into the heels, root down through the glutes. Inhale, rise yourself up to standing. Palms will touch. Exhale, hands down your center line. And to the side of the body. And we'll do it again. Inhale your arms out and up. Long spine, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Can you step back with the opposite foot as you come into your plank, if you remember? Nice. Strong through the shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. External retention. So end of the exhale, Come to hands fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, strong through the back of the body. Exhale, hands down, your center line. And then to the side of the body. Let's do that one more time, please. Inhale, arms out and up. Hinge at your hips, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank position. Inhale, press the floor away from you. Glue the shoulder blades to the back body. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Scoop your low belly. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3-ish breaths here. If this doesn't feel like a shape where you can relax in some capacity, then please come to child's pose. Or seated or something else, right? Check in. Where's the mind going? What is it focusing on? Can you steady your breath? Nice. One more breath here, please. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. End of exhale, bring feet to hands. Good. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, nice and lazy. Just walk the hands up the legs and come to standing, please. Back into Tadasana or mountain shape, right? So the bottoms of the feet are broad. The toes are light. There's this very subtle lifting action going on through the leg muscles. The belly is engaged, but also pliable for breath, right? So it's moving with your breath. Okay. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, find that halfway lift again. And this time as you exhale, step your right foot back and bring your right knee down onto the floor, please. So props are always interesting at home. If you need a little more squish under your knee, a quick way to do that is just to fold the edge of your mat underneath your knee if you need to, or you can grab a blanket, okay? And we're gonna walk ourselves upright. So I'm a big fan, again, of hooking the toes in that back foot, and I'm gonna encourage it, but if it's creating pain or distracting you from other things, then go ahead and soften the top of that foot on the floor, okay? The shoulders are above the hips, okay? And you're relaxing the arms down the sides of the body to begin with here. The inner thighs are pulling towards each other. The low ribs are cinched as the pubic bone pulls up. And take your hands, please, to your hips. And I want you to think about just like your sits bones and your pelvis can compress within itself. So you're nice and stable here, okay? And then we'll float the fingertips up to the ceiling, but keep the tops of the shoulders soft. And then exhale, bring the arms out to the side, okay? And then tops of the fingers come onto the tops of the shoulders, fingertips, good. Keep the pelvis as stationary as you can as you start to just stir the arms. Nice. Can you feel this movement starting from your shoulder blades as you keep the pelvis still? Please breathe. Couple more times. Good. Okay, come to center, please. Without extending the spine, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together till you feel the chest open a little more, and then press the hands out with the palms nice and broad. So you might feel a stretch to the forearms here. Soften the tops of the shoulders, please. Take a deep breath in, feel the side ribs expand. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to the floor and step back to your plank position. Okay. Bring the insides of the feet together. Reminder, you can do this with the knees down if that's more supportive. Okay. And then I want you to, if you're on your toes, I want you to start walking your heels from side to side, keeping the shoulder girdle pretty still. If you're on your knees, you just kind of are wagging your tail. Okay. Notice if as you do this movement, you're clenching anywhere. Can you stay really relaxed through the jaw? And if you can't, that's okay. Just back off. Okay. 2 more. Okay, come back to center, please. Widen the feet to a neutral space. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. Take a couple of clearing breaths. Okay, come to center. And like we did before, walk the hands back towards the feet. Sometimes this is called the happy squat, right? So roll the weight back into the heels. Let's take our fingers and squish them into our hip creases and press back. Because I want you to really encourage this deep flexion of the hips as the belly rests on the thighs maybe. And then let the head hang. And then you might release the hands down to the floor or to your thighs. And then roll the weight back into the heels as you walk your hands up your legs, coming to standing. Nice, okay, and then just leisurely stroll to the front of your body, please. Shake it out. Find your Tadasana, right? So rotate the palms forward. How are you relating to this experience right now? Okay, exhale, please. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the left foot back, left knee comes down on the floor. We find that low lunge on the other side. Okay, just walk the hands up the legs. Shoulders are above the hip. Toes might be hooked. Inner thighs are pulling towards each other. All those little things, right? And then this time, so take the hands to the hips again, like you're compacting your pelvis on the lateral side of the side, okay? And then bring one hand to the low back and one hand to the low belly. It's like a waffle iron. So you're just squishing that in. So you're really stable through the pelvis, okay? Now relax the arms down to the side of the body. Reach the left arm forward, the right arm back. Keep the pelvis still as you swing your arms from side to side. Forward and back. Okay, notice what the shoulder blades are doing. If you're into the breath stuff, you might exhale out the mouth, inhale through the nose. For 5, 4, 3, nice you guys, 2, 1, reach both arms up towards the ceiling, keep the shoulders soft, lift the rib cage away from the pelvis. And then exhale, hands down to the floor. Lift the back knee up, and this time we'll step right back to downward facing dog, please. Deep breath in. And out. And then slowly lower yourself down to child's pose again, please. If it works in your body, bring the insides of your toes together as you widen your knees about as wide as your mat. And then walk your arms forward. This is sometimes a little deep in the hips or the spine, so does it work for your body? By all means, keep the thighs together. Steady your breath. Take a deep breath in. And out. Come on up to tabletop, please. Okay. I'm realizing the sequence is kind of a strong one. Guys doing good? Give me a thumbs up. Everybody good? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have you come down onto your forearms in your tabletop position, okay? And we're gonna play around with dolphin pose. So while you're in your tabletop, I want you to take your hands and see if you can grab the tops of your shoulders with your hands. So this is about the width I want your forearms from each other. And I say that with the caveat that this is a starting point. If you come to this shape and it does not feel safe in your body, I want you to widen, okay? Then interlace your fingers, hook your toes, your hips up and back. So it's like downward facing dog, except you're on your forearms, okay? So the forearms and the elbows are pressing towards each other without moving, and then kind of back a little bit. So you really feel the muscles around the shoulder blades wake up here. Scoop the low belly to lift the hips, and then walk your feet towards your arms, just a smidge more. Okay. You're gonna slowly start to shift your weight forward so your chin comes towards your thumbs, and then slowly press back. So these are called dolphin push-ups sometimes. Back and forth. Please breathe. Nice, you guys. A couple more. How are you relating to this experience? Okay, one more, please. Okay, come back with the knees lower down. And then come up to tabletop position. Whew. Okay, keep the arms straight. We're gonna lower the rib cage down towards the floor as the shoulder blades come towards each other. And then press the floor away from you as you feel your shoulder blades separate. Pull the chin back towards the throat, so you're really long through the back of the neck as you do this movement. Okay. Then come to center. Hook your toes, lift yourself up and back, downward facing dog, please. Take a deep breath in and out. Strong through the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling into three-legged dog. Doesn't have to go super high, just about the height of your hip. And then slowly pull the knee forward and work that right foot inside the right hand. Pivot the left heel down and walk yourself up into warrior one, please. Good, okay. And again, before we float the fingertips up, check in with what's going on with the lower half of the body. So the outer edge of that left foot is glued to the floor, but so is the big toe mound. So the arch is lifting. The inner thighs are pulling towards each other. Arms are relaxed here. The low back is really broad. So if you feel like any sort of pressure in the low back, I want you to straighten this right knee a little bit and wrap that glute on the left side down. If you're still feeling compression in the low back, I want you to come up onto the ball of your left foot, please. So this squares the hips, okay? Then we're gonna bring the hands behind the back. Lots of options here. Okay, so you can grab the forearms. You can do reverse namaste or prayer where you press the palms together with the fingers up. Or you can interlace your fingers, okay? Again, without really extending the spine forward, I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Pubic bone is lifting up towards the low ribs. And then pull the right hip underneath you as you lead the chest forward, coming into what's called humble warrior, right? So you're gonna slowly let the head come down. At any point, you can take your hands and rest them on your thigh or on the floor for support here, but let the upper back round as best you can. Keep the legs nice and alive. If you can, let the chin tuck so the back of the neck is nice and open. Take a deep breath in and out. Root down through the feet, please. Inhale, rise yourself back up. Swoop the arms forward and up, and then back, down to the floor, and step back to downward facing dog, please. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, shift your weight forward to a plank. Continue to exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Steady yourself with your breath. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, lift the left leg up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Keep the pinky toe of that left foot pointing down towards the floor, please. Strong low belly, pull the knee forward. Work the left foot inside the left hand. Find your Virabhadrasana one on the other side. So rotate the right heel down and then up you come. Just let the shoulders and the arms relax to begin with and really sink into the strength of your hips and your legs. Okay. If you, again, feel any compression in low back, I want you to come up onto the ball of that right foot. If you're feeling any pull in the knees, I want you to play around with the angle of your toes, okay? And then we'll bring the hands behind the back again. So, if you interlace the fingers, please do the opposite way. And usually that's the way that feels strange, okay? Minimize the extension of the spine. So you're pulling the pubic bone up towards the low ribs as you squeeze the shoulder blades. So we're more so working on opening up the pectoralis muscles, okay? Inhale. Pull the left hip back as you press the chest forward. The right foot is nice and plugged down. And down we go into humble warrior. That left shoulder might come inside the knee. It doesn't have to, okay? Good. Where's your breath? Can you relax your head down? Tuck the chin. Yeah. Breathe. What's the mind focusing on? Okay, exhale down through your feet. Inhale, up we come, warrior one. Fingertips reach up. Back, down, step back, downward facing dog. Okay, take a deep breath in. Move through a flow if you want to. Exhale, shift to your plank. Continue to exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then again, come down to child's pose, please. Arms are along the sides of the ears. Slowly walk your hands to the right, please. As you sink your hips back, finding a nice little side stretch here. And then walk your hands to the left, please. Same thing on the other side. And then back to center. And then one deep breath, like breathe deeply into the back body, the low back. Exhale, let the head relax into the floor. We play around with this balance of being fully engaged, but very relaxed at the same time. Okay? You're very aware, but the body's very soft. Inhale, rise yourself back up to hands and knees, please. Okay, we're gonna put some of these movements together maybe. Okay, so we're in our tabletop position. I'm imagining we're very aware of our shoulder blades at this point. Okay, so we're gonna hook the toes again. And again, this is a layered thing. So if you wanna skip some part of this because it doesn't feel right in your body, please do so, okay? So find that engagement in the low belly. Find that cinching of the low ribs. The engagement around the shoulder girdle. And then as you're ready, you're gonna float the knees off of the floor again, okay? This is a nice place to be if you wanna stay here. If you would like a little bit more, you're gonna press down through the right hand. As you pull the left arm up, right foot comes up, and then start to press the right foot out to the side as you pivot onto the left foot. It's a lot of right and lefts. This is where the virtual teaching is the worst. Okay, you might wanna watch me first, okay? So it's kind of like a twisty push-up thing. So you're here in your tabletop, knees are hovered. The right hand is pressing down. The right foot comes off the floor. Twist till the sole of the left foot is on the floor. And then you start to kick that right foot out as you pull the left foot back. Okay, and then you come back to center. And we'll try it on the other side. So you're gonna press down with the left hand. Pull the right arm up as you press the left foot forward. And then back. Move from side to side. I'm gonna watch you make sure. Yeah. I know, this one's a burner. Nice, you guys. Please breathe. This is kind of like an efficient power movement, right? Exhale as you come into the full shape. Inhale as you come to center. Maybe one more on each side. That's really great, you guys. Good. Okay, come back to center, please. Yeah, knees come on the floor. And then child's pose or heroes, right? So that's where you're upright with your hips on your heels. We'll leave it up to you. It's kind of a lot on the wrists. You might shake it out a little bit. And then just check in. How do you feel? right? Sometimes we forget, you always have a choice on where the mind is going, like where you want it to focus. So in this moment right now, like what would support you? Focusing on the breath, a sensation in the body. Two more breaths here, please. And then this last round, take a deep breath in through the nose. Out the mouth. Nice. Okay. I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. Take your time and do whatever you need to in between, right? So if you need to do some wrist rolls or get a drink of water or whatever you need, please do that. Right, so the wrists get tired. So can you recruit the strength of the muscles around your shoulder blades to take some of the weight off of the wrist, right? So wrap the triceps back, glue the shoulder blades to the back body. Press the finger pads down into the floor. Scoop your low belly until you feel your low back broaden. The heels are rooting down as the sits bones lift up. Feel that lengthening through the backs of the legs. Take a deep breath in and out. And once again, walk the hands back towards the feet and find that nice little squat. So deep hinge of the hips. Belly rests either between or on top of the thighs as you let the length of your spine drape down. The toes are light. Can you feel your inner thighs rotating towards each other and behind you? So an internal rotation of the thighs here. Maybe bend your knees a little bit more, send the sits bones back. And then walk your hands up your legs and come to standing. Okay, walk your hands, your feet forward to your mat. Shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. And maybe shake the hands out. Nice. Let's just step back into a wide-legged stance. Okay, so we're all facing different directions, so I don't know what to tell you to step back with. Okay. And then we'll rotate the toes at about 45 degrees so that when we bend the knees, they track over the center of the feet. You decide how deep this bend is, okay? But I want you to be thinking as the knees are tracking out, the hips are coming in towards your center line and your feet are pulling towards each other. So there's this strength through the thighs and the hips here. The arms are relaxed, okay? Then bring the heels of the hands right into your hip creases, okay? Sink the hips down a little more. You're gonna shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, let the arms straighten and find a nice stretch here. I like to sway from side to side, that's up to you. Keep the jaw relaxed. Okay, nice guys, okay. And then come to center. Straighten the knees for a moment. Pivot the feet to about parallel or pigeon-toed, okay? We're really light on the toes, so if you can do it in your body, I want you to lift your toes up, spread them wide, float them down. Feel the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the heels plug down through the earth. Inhale the arms out and up. Use this gesture to lift the rib cage away from the pelvis. Exhale, bring your hands to your hip creases, so dig in there. And then press your hips back to deepen the crease of the hips as you send your bum back. So the spine is nice and long here. And then fold. Nice, you guys, okay. Finding a twist. So you're gonna bring the left hand in front of your face. The right hand starts on the low back, okay? Keep pulling the inner thighs towards each other and send your weight back into your heels a little bit more. So this is an active movement here, okay? So plug down through the left hand till you feel the left shoulder blade kind of slide on your back and the right shoulder starts to steer up towards the ceiling. Keep the hips still, please. Okay, from here, you might extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. Okay, you can also do a bind here where you wrap the hand behind the back and kind of grab your left hip. But notice what you're sacrificing to get into that bind. Okay, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, contract your abdomen muscles. Okay, inhale, release the twist. Tense your fingertips. So you're on the tips of your fingers, pivot your toes out about 45 degrees, and we'll do what's called Skandasana in the yoga world, right? So you're just gonna shift your weight from side to side. You might curl the toes up. I'm more interested, you're just getting that mobility in the hips here. And the low back feels safe. Nice, yeah, you can have your hands on your thighs too, that's awesome. Okay, come back to center, please. Pivot the feet parallel or pigeon-toed. Okay, you're really broad and alive through the soles of the feet. The weight isn't back in the heels till you feel a lengthening through the backs of the thighs. The feet are isometrically pulling towards each other, right? So it's like this contraction where they don't move. Right hand comes underneath the face, left hand comes to your low back. This is to keep you from twisting through the lumbar spine, okay? Take an inhale. Exhale, press down through the right hand. Feel the right shoulder blade slide on the back ribs as the left shoulder comes up towards the ceiling. Notice if you feel this anywhere else in the body, like the hips or the legs. If you want to, you can extend the left fingertips up towards the ceiling or wrap. So maybe you're reaching towards that right hip. Okay, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, contract your abdominal muscles. Good. Inhale, release. Oh. And then again, pivot the toes out about 45 degrees and sway your hips from side to side. Right, if you're still wanting to build heat and work on strength, the arms can come out into a T into the side. And this is kind of fun. Okay, I love it, there's so many variations. Okay. And then we're gonna do that fancy vinyasa transition to down dog, okay? So whichever direction the front of your mat is in, I want you to walk your fingertips that way. Pivot on your feet and step back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, move through a flow. Shift forward to plank. Keep exhaling, lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And out. Okay. Lower out of downward dog. And come to a seated shape. You're just gonna sit on your bums. Let's extend the legs straight. You might need to move the fleshy part of your butt back so that your sits bones are really connected. So what we're trying to do here is not have this rounding thing happen in the low back, right? So if you have a pillow or a blanket nearby and you're noticing that you just can't keep it from happening, I want you to sit right on the edge of it so your pelvis tilts, right? One way to kind of gauge this pelvic tilt is you have these hip points in your pubic bone, and you want them kind of on top of each other, okay? So think about where they are in space, but then don't stress out about it too much, okay? So we're here, the legs are straight, and then just bounce. So the backs of the knees are kind of gently landing on the floor, and then shake the feet. Like you're creating space between your toe bones, okay? And then we'll come into staff, right? So it's just a more engaged position of the shape. So curl the toes back towards your face. The soles of the feet are nice and broad. The quadriceps are a little bit awake here, and the hands are right by your hips. So we're not like clenched, but we're engaged, right? So broaden the hands. Feel the rib cage and the shoulder girdle kind of slide down as the spine rises up through the front of the head. Okay. Keep that broadness in the low back as you slowly start to walk your hands forward, hinging at the hips. You may not go very far, and that's totally fine, okay? Find your edge here. Take a deep breath in like you're breathing up the spine, all the way up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, maybe you round the upper back and tuck the chin. Take one more breath here. Okay, it's like you have an anchor in your tailbone that goes all the way to the center of the earth. It's keeping it nice and grounded as you walk your hands back, stacking your spine. So your shoulders are over your hips. Okay. And then we're going to extend the left leg out to the side. and tuck the sole of the right foot inside the thigh. So if you have knees that like to talk to you, when you come into these shapes, take that pillow or a blanket or something, prop it underneath the knee. There's also an option to roll a blanket and bring underneath the extended leg, okay? So we're here, okay? And just relax for a moment, let the arms be heavy, the shoulders are above the hips, okay? Inhale, float the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Keep the chest nice and broad as you exhale and reach the left fingertips on the top of that left shin, and then just come into a side stretch here. So keep this right hip nice and heavy. And then with that right arm, so it's extended along the side of the ear to begin with, I want you to slice it down in front of you and then towards the floor on your right side, okay? So it's like someone is pulling your right fingertips towards the floor, and then let the left ear just start to drift down towards the left shoulder. So we're getting like maybe a neck stretch, a hip stretch. That left foot is a little bit awake, right? So the toes are curled towards the body to keep the joints safe. Take a deep breath in and out. Then reach the right arm towards the floor some more to roll yourself up, right? Okay. Keep the spine nice and tall, and then just start to twist your chest towards the left, okay? Keep the hip nice and square, and then walk your hands towards that left foot. Again, you may not go very far. If you want to go a little deeper into this, you're going to take the right hand, cross it over the top of the shin. The trajectory is towards the outer edge of that left foot. It does not have to grab it though, okay? I'm not trying to crank on anything here. And then you can also start to look over your left shoulder. And try this out, see how this feels. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, feel your low belly hollow out. Keep the throat relaxed. Okay. Then we'll inhale, come back up, right? Okay. Take this right hand, bring it behind your hip. The left arm is going to reach up towards the ceiling as you lift both hips off the floor. And find a nice side stretch here. Hip opener. Yes, good. Exhale, come down. Okay. And then we'll just switch to the other side. So extend the right leg out. Left hand, please take the time to support your body in these shapes, right? So if joints need to be supported, bring a blanket or a pillow underneath them. Okay, low back feels safe. A little bit of activation in that right foot, so the right toes are curling towards the base just a smidge, and then float the fingertips up towards the ceiling. But keep the tops of the shoulders soft, lift the rib cage away from the pelvis, and then exhale, start to side stretch to the right. So to begin with, if it feels okay in your body, you're going to keep this left bicep towards the left ear. You're nice and heavy through that left hip, and then you're going to slice the air with that arm till the left fingertips are reaching towards the floor, and then the right ear can start to drift down towards the right shoulder, maybe. How are you relating to this experience right now? Are you allowing your body to be in this shape, or are you trying to force it? One more breath. Start to reach the left fingertips towards the floor as you rise back upright. Okay. Keep the pelvis nice and stable. Twist the upper back towards the right. So the hands will frame that right leg. You just start to walk them towards the foot, keeping the low back nice and broad. And then if you want to deepen the twist, the left hand can cross over the top of the right shin towards the outer edge of that foot. Okay. Maybe you look over the right shoulder. Okay, and then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift the pelvic floor, rounding through the low back. And then slowly come out of the twist. And then we'll come into, my yoga teacher friend calls this the jazz move. I don't know what it's called. So you take the left hand behind the hip, right hand reaches forward and up. Okay. And then slowly come down. Good. Okay. And then we'll make our way onto our backs. Or it's almost time for Shavasana, so you might grab stuff along the way down so you don't have to get up again. Okay. We're gonna be on our backs with our knees bent and come into a figure 4 here. Okay, so you're gonna take your right ankle over your left thigh. Now, before you deepen into this shape, I want you to think about your hips, your sits bones, and your thigh bones are pulling apart from each other. So you're really engaged here, okay? The right toes are pointing towards that right knee, and you can have the knee angled quite a bit here, okay? Then from here, keep the arms really relaxed by the sides of the body and just lift the feet off of the floor if you want to, but keep pulling the thigh bones away from each other. So you're very engaged here. The low back is broad. The shoulders are soft. Okay. And then there's so many variations to this shape, right? So if you want to, you can interlace fingers around the thigh if that works for you, or a strap. If you do have this variation, you can sometimes kickstand the right elbow into the left thigh to kind of help open that. And then if you want a little bit more, you might straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. But really, I want you to prioritize this action of the thigh, the femurs pulling apart from the right and the left. So it's pretty active. Nice. One more breath here, please. Soften through the back of the neck. And then slowly come out of the stretch. Both feet on the floor. Take a moment before you switch to the other side. Just notice how you feel. Great. On the other side. So left ankle on right thigh. Again, the sits bones and the thigh bones are pulling away from each other. Okay. Notice what that does in your body. Okay. Low back is broad. Arms are relaxed on the sides of the body to begin with. And then if you want to, maybe you lift the feet off the floor, pulling the legs towards the body. But please stay active here. And then maybe you interlace fingers around the back of the right thigh. Maybe you straighten that right leg up towards the ceiling. Again, check in. How are you relating to this? Steady breath. On your next exhale, go ahead and come out of the stretch. Both feet are on the floor. Widen your feet just a little bit with your knees bent. And then rock your knees to the left. And as you do this, I want you to squeeze your right butt cheek. So just kind of engage that right glute to maybe get a little deeper stretch in the right hip flexor. And then other side. So roll the knees to the right and begin to squeeze your left glute. Okay, and you can do this a few times from side to side. If you're feeling any sensation in the knees as you do this, you might bring your feet away from your bum a little more. So shallow the bend of your knee. Nice. Okay. And then anything else you want to do before we come into Shavasana, final relaxation. So if there's any other movement or stretch you would like, or if you'd like to grab a blanket or a sweater or get a drink of water before you come into a reclined position or into seated meditation, whichever is your preference today. As you come into this shape, let your flesh soften around the bones. Get really curious. Okay, start to bring your attention back into your body, please. Notice how you feel. And begin to deepen your breath and start to find movement in your body. Slowly beginning this process of coming back to a seated shape. Take your time, be gentle with yourself. We'll finish the practice with a pranayama, a breath work. It's called lots of different things. Now you showed now our alternate nostril breathing, and there's many different ways to do it. I'm going to give you the option where you curl the pointer finger and the middle finger together. So your ring finger, pinky, and thumb are out on the right hand. And you're going to bring it up to your nose, okay? So keep the chest nice and open, the top of the spine tall. And just take an exhale out of both nostrils. Then close the right nostril with your thumb as you inhale through the left. At the top of that inhale, close the left nostril, open the right exhale. So keep the spine tall, please. Inhale through the right. Top of that inhale, close right, exhale left. Inhale left. And then switch, exhale right. Inhale right. And switch, exhale left. Inhale left. And switch. Just move at your own pace here, going back and forth. The spine is tall. Next time you exhale out the right nostril, go ahead and let this go. So you'll just let the hand come down to the lap and breathe through both nasal passages. And then if it's comfortable for you, you can take the palms of the hands together, thumbs to your chest, or any other gesture that works for you. Okay, so coming back to Anjali Mudra. Again, the sternum, the chest rises to meet the thumbs, so the heart space is open here. And then if you'd like to join, we'll close by chanting Om once. Please take a deep breath in to chant. Om. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. May you remember your true nature, which is love, trust, and reasonless joy. And may you remember that you are strong and wise. Thank you for being you and for sharing it. Namaste.